My name is Matt Lister. I'm a professional Airtable developer, and I've got a blog called Flowcode where I share more advanced Airtable tips. So you'll find a lot of information out there for beginners, but what I'm trying to cater to is people who are thinking about becoming Airtable developers professionally, starting to bring code into Airtable, scripting, complex automations, and generally more advanced tips. So if that's interesting to you, please subscribe. What I'm sharing here today is a simple feature for searching for and jumping to fields by their name. So over here in the extensions bar, I've got an extension called Find Field. If I click Run, I can search for a field. So I've got a field called Owner, and it's found Owner in the tasks table. And if I click Go to Field, it takes me directly there. And that's really helpful because one of my pet peeves with Airtable is that there's no reliable way to search for and jump to fields. You can search for them in the search bar. So for example, if I search owner here, click enter, it does do exactly what I want, which is to jump me to the field, although annoyingly it sometimes hides it here behind the actual search bar itself. But the trouble comes when you've got a field. In this case, we're going to search for the field end. When you've got, so the issue is when you've got a field that shares a name with information in the table or with other fields. So for example, I've searched for the word end here, and you'll see that it's found every use of the word end in the table, and it goes to all of them before going to the field, which again, it's hiding behind the search bar. So it's not a great system, and particularly if you've got a big base and lots of tables, the trouble is you've got lots of fields with quite similar names. So you'll probably find yourself reusing the word budget, value, total, and sometimes you're struggling to remember exactly which total you want to find, and it can be tricky. So there's two ways I traditionally go about this. One is to go to Tools, Manage Fields, and this area shows you all your fields. And if I came here and typed end, I'd find it immediately. And this is great if I want to edit the structure of the field, because I can find the field, open this up, and change details about the field. But oftentimes you actually want to see the data in the field, so this doesn't work. So the next best option, I think, then, is to quickly create a new view or have a search view. So I've got one here, and what you can do is hide the fields you don't want and then quickly find them, owner. That's good as well. I mean, it takes you to the column so you can see the data, but it's not ideal because you don't see the other columns around it. You'd have to find all those fields and add them one by one. What you really want to do is be taken in your main view where you've got all the fields. You want to be taken to the owner column here. So that was my problem, and it's always annoyed me because I work on big bases and there's loads of fields, and I spend too long scrolling sideways trying to find the field I need, and it's always been annoying. And I wasn't sure that there was any solution to it because there isn't any way that I'm aware of programmatically to control the Airtable window. So there's no way for me to write code that would then tell the Airtable graphic user interface to take me to the owner field. That's all handled on Airtable's side. So I thought it was a dead end until I realized that every field has a URL. So if you right click on a field, you can see there's a field URL, and if we copy it and paste it up at the top and hit enter, you'll see that what the field URL does is take us to that field, and it also aligns the user interface so it takes us directly there. So it actually does exactly what we want it to do. And even better, if I repaste it, you'll see that these field URLs have a standard structure. It's airtable.com / the Airtable app address, then the table address, then the view address of the view you want to use, so that should be your main view, and then the field name. And if you put them, all in a URL and hit enter, it'll take you there. And that sort of format, the formal structure, is something we can create with code, because we can use the Airtable API to look up these values, create a URL, and that's how the extension works. So when I search for a field, it's looking through all of the tables and all of the fields to find anything with the word start in. And then it's created the URL for each of those fields, which is just a concatenation of those various values. And then when I hit go, it takes me right there. So that functions pretty much like I want it to. So if you can code and you're interested, you can open up and look at it. This code is available on my blog. So if we go to flowcodedigital.co.uk, you'll see I've got a blog called Stop Wasting Time Looking for Fields. And in there, you can copy this JavaScript. And for those who don't know how scripting extension works, I'll just show you how to install this into your base. So just copy this code, go to the base, click, well, you may have to open the extensions window, which is here in Tools, Extensions. Click Add Extension. Then you need to search for the scripting extension, which is provided by Airtable. Add this extension to one of your tool panels. Click through this, start from scratch, and then we just delete what's here. We can paste in our code, and you can test it by clicking Run here, and you can see that the extension is running now. You may want to rename your extension. By default, they get called scripting. So if you rename it here, it's find field, because if you have multiple scripting extensions, it can be annoying to find the one you need. So yeah, that's how to install the extension. What we've actually installed is the scripting extension and then put some script into it. You can create more custom extensions, like this one here from SendGrid, which is more like an app installed into your Airtable base. And that's something I'll probably do tutorials on in future. But for now, we just created a little script and running it in the extension panel. And hopefully that's useful to people. I plan on creating a few more sort of utility tool demonstrations like that for people who are working as developers, big bases, and people asking for things regularly, and maybe you work with tens or maybe hundreds of bases in a big organization, and you know, sometimes when you come to a base, you can't remember where everything is, and that's why these small things make a really big difference. So I hope that's good for my first video, and expect more soon. Please visit the blog, and I'll be pasting more scripts and things up there for you to use. Thanks.